Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Widening the Circle of Governance and Congregations, where we're going to be exploring sociocracy. I'm the Reverend Renee Ruchotzke. I work for the Unitarian Universalist Association, your Unitarian Universalist Association, if you're UU. Before we get to our speakers, I want to start out with a little bit of theological grounding. Our congregational polity is based in the radical notion that truth and meaning are best discerned by a gathered group, bound by covenant and grounded in relationship with love at the core. I have a story that Alice Blair Wesley told at the men's lections back in the year 2000. A decade before the 1648 Cambridge Platform in 1637, a group of about 30 Puritan families relocated to the new settlement of Dedham, Massachusetts. Unlike the Pilgrim settlers in Plymouth, the Pilgrims in Plymouth, or the earlier Puritan settlers in Salem, these people did not know one another before they formed their community. Once they took care of their food and shelter needs, they turned their attention to forming the religious part of their community. The good people of Dedham approached their communal religious life with serious and intention. They scheduled a series of meetings over the course of a year, held every Thursday meeting. And they took turns in the homes of various families, with all of the townspeople invited to participate. As a part of their intentionality, they adopted a few simple rules. Rule 1, they would decide before leaving each meeting what question to discuss next week. That way, people were more apt to share considered thoughts. Rule 2, each week, the host of the house would begin speaking to the agreed upon question. Then everyone would speak by turns. Rule 3, each one could, as they chose, speak to the question or raise a closely related question and speak to that, or to state any objections or doubts concerning what any of the others had said, quote, so it were humbly and with a teachable heart, not with any mind of caviling or contradicting. In other words, rule 3 was, here we speak our own understandings or doubts. No arguing, no nitpicking. The record reports that all of their reasonings were very peaceable, loving, and tender, much to edification or learning together. This pattern of people gathering in a circle and speaking in turns to make decisions is an ancient one. It is an acknowledgement that wisdom is synthesized from the group, not just handed down from the leaders. Somewhere along the way, we dropped this practice in our congregations and picked up Robert's Rules of Order. Have you ever felt transformed when someone called the question or made a motion to table? I know I haven't. But I have experienced transformation when sharing in a circle. I remember when I first encountered small group ministry over 20 years ago. I saw how the practice of sharing without interruption in small groups changed the culture of my home congregation from bickering to deep listening. I remember being in a restorative justice circle and feeling that moment when the energy in the room shifted as the person who was causing harm finally comprehended the experience of the harmed person. I also remember being in creative spaces with diverse individuals where ideas became synergy, became transformation. So when I heard about a governance model that was based on the pattern of the circle, that incorporated all the ideas and wisdom of the people in the circle, and that incorporated practices to keep discussion mission-based rather than preference-based, I thought it might be a better governance model for liberal religious faith communities. So here we are.